Everybody, we are live. We're going to start with our promotional video or 5 minutes. So let's go.
When talking about building engagement and excitement through virtual experiences, the finest platform out there, Virtual Console, offers an unmatched solution. A do-it-for-you platform, Virtual Console offers an end-to-end tech solution that enables our clients to create personalized and custom events in just 48 hours. While the platform remains easy to use and navigate, assistance and support is available at every step to create a seamless experience. Not only is the platform scalable, varying participant sizes, it has proven to be cost-efficient. Let's explore the various features that Virtual Console has to offer. The attendees log in using an email ID or mobile number and enter the lobby area, which has event and partner branding, along with various speaker profiles and agenda for the event. Public and one-on-one chat functionalities, along with breakout rooms, enable attendee interaction. Attendees then proceed to the auditorium, where all the action lies. And the Expo Center offers partners their booths with networking and lead generation opportunities. Attendees can see glimpses of the event in the gallery. Virtual Console offers in-depth event analytics to ascertain and track the attendee touchpoints, time spent across various functions, and beyond. Let us have a look at something Virtual Console recently put together for one of our clients with over 3,000 attendees. A creative, captivating, customized, and cost-efficient solution by Virtual Console that meets the purpose and delivers beyond expectations. With the changing times and trends, it's time to bet big on virtual events and experiences. Trust us to be the virtual event solution specialist you need. Virtual Console, here to deliver. Book your demo with us at Virtual Console.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Travel Tech Asia Pacific Second Edition 2021. First of all, thank you for all the special speakers we're going to have today who have a full of knowledge and expertise with us today. My name is Vinicius Geraldo. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Travel Tech. For those that's the first time that you're listening to us, Travel Tech has been created during 2019. Normally, we will be ground fair. However, during the pandemic, we go to online. We started last year with Brazil, Portugal in July, and the last year we did 4 events. We did Brazil, Portugal, APAC, Latin Spain, EMEA, and we finished this year in March with US, Canada, our first edition. We just started our second edition in May with Brazil, and now we have our second edition in APAC. What is Travel Tech? Travel Tech is a forum and a masterclass, a mix of both concepts, bring knowledge for the hospitality, travel industry, and destination worldwide in 3 different languages. Right now, we are the major event online on educational for our trade. So I hope you enjoy. Today, we're going to speak about revenue management strategies. And beside of myself, we have Prakhar Garg, Marriott Hotels, Hugo Esteves for RM Hub, Dennington from Infor, Rohan from professor for university in India. We have Siddharth Goenka, CEO and founder of Aiosell. So everybody, welcome. I'm very glad to have you to accept to be here and to share knowledge with everybody, because everything we do here, it's about knowledge. So for the people that is listening to us, how are we going to proceed? It's very simple. Sorry. Right now, I'm going to start presenting each of our special guests. They're going to have 2 minutes to present themselves, talking about their company. If they use 3 minutes, it's not a problem either. After that, we will start the first round of questions. Those questions will be based not on their solutions. We'll base it on educational content, trying to tell our trade for the hospitality and the travel industry how better use revenue management strategies to move forward on the recovery. I know that we have a few countries already full open, but we still have a lot of countries in the world that's not full open. But just a few months more. We already support 2 years. It's going to be 2 years. So come on. By December, everybody's going to be smiling. And the industry, tourism industry and the hospitality industry is going to be the ones that will recover more faster than anybody is thinking about it. So be welcome. And during the session, if you have any kind of question, please write back. If you are watching us on LinkedIn, if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Facebook, here as an administrator here, I'm going to see all your questions. I will take note. And after all the special guests finish their answers, we're going to have 15 minutes to answer your questions. So, Prophet, it's not normal that you have time to ask for those big sharks here about revenue. So let's start presenting. Let's go to my file here. Let's go to Aiosell. Siddharth Goenka, founder and CEO of Aiosell. Please, Siddhartha, it's your turn. You have 2-3 minutes to present yourself, present your company. So go ahead, my friend. Thank you to be here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Siddharth Goenka, and I represent a company called Aiosell Technologies. I actually wear 2 hats. I'm also a hotel owner. I run and own a hotel by the name of Octave Hotels in India. We have about 15 properties. And Aiosell is a company that kind of came out of my experience with hotels. So what Aiosell does is it's a all-in-one hotel management and hotel marketing company. We started off as a pure revenue management and dynamic pricing system, but over time we kind of expanded to include distribution as well as a property management system and the entire all-in-one suite. So typically for smaller hotels, we provide the all-in-one suite. For larger hotels, we provide only our revenue management and automated pricing piece. We are based in India. We service about 200 plus hotels in 20 countries. And glad to be here. Thank you. That's the background on me.
Thank you so much, Siddhartha, for introduction. Welcome, my friend. Right now, let's go to Greg Dennington, Account Director, New Zealand, Australia, and Pacific for Infor. Greg, over 3 minutes, please. introduce yourself and about what Infor does. Thank you.
Good morning, all. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me. Infor Hospitality, look, we've been around for about 20 odd years. We're one of the largest software companies globally, providing software not only to the hospitality sector, but also to various different industry verticals globally. Hospitality, though, we provide a whole range of cloud-based, innovative new solutions for the hospitality industry. We cover hospitality management solutions, property management systems, revenue management platforms, sales and marketing, sales and catering platforms, and financial solutions. Infor is found literally all over the world. We've got 160 offices globally, found in every country and territory around the world. Our base regionally, I'm based out of Sydney, Australia. I look after Australia, New Zealand, South Pacific, into the Asian countries as well. We have regional offices out of Singapore, Hong Kong, and we can basically give a one-stop shop for most platforms, for most hotels of any size and scale, whether you've got 12 rooms, whether you've got 4,500 rooms. We've generally got a solution that will fit your organization.
Thank you very much, Greg. Be welcome. Welcome Infor and everybody again. So let's go right now. I want to introduce to all of you Rohan, Professor Accommodation Operations at the Manipal Academy of Higher Education, India. Rohan, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the session. You have 3 minutes to talk about you and talk about your university. Please go ahead. Thank you to be here.
I am honored to be here with Travel Tech, and I'd like to thank them to pick me in the panel. Well, I have more than 10 years of experience in hotel front office operations and revenue management. I've been a part of 2 pre-openings in revenue management, 1 pre-opening in front office, and that was the initial time, and then that's how I've grown in the industry. And it's been 6 months that I've joined the college called Welcome Group Graduate School of Hotel Administration, Manipal, in Karnataka. I am working as an assistant professor. I'm responsible in teaching revenue management to students. That's my core subject. And plus, I also support my college with front office operations. Some aspects of it, like how it is practically implemented. I'll take the practicals, and I even teach theory at times. Okay, the college is also called in short as Baksha. Okay, so when we are talking about college, the college is a constituent of Manipal Academy of Higher Education with partnership with ITC Hotels Division. We are ranked number 1 by GHRDC in India. We are ranked number 1 again in the private colleges in India. We are ranked number 2 among all the best colleges in India. We are ranked number 26 among globally by CEO World Magazine. We are proud member of Indian Federation of Culinary Association, which is IFCA. We are also part of World Association of Chefs Societies, which is called as WAC. And we are also part of India International Skills Center, ISSC, from Ministry of HRD and NSC. The college is also part of Swiss Education Group. We are part of Culinary Arts Academy of Zeland. We are part of Hotel School of Distinction. So in college, we have more of practical exposure that we are trying to put. Since I have come from industry, we are in a phase of getting people from the industry to come and do special lectures for us. They are also, exposing or sharing the knowledge about the software. They're giving us a look and feel of the software. We had someone from OTA inside, a month back. He showed the platform. Then we had an alumni who showed us how Sabre works, how Expedia works. We are moving forward to have them on board. We also have a software for simulation for students so that they can learn revenue management. That's what has been done in the next 6 months because we are trying to get students ready for the industry. Okay, that would be from my end. Thank you, Mr. Gral.
Thank you so much, Rohan. Be welcome here. Let's go to our next person right now. It's going to be Marriott. Prakhar Garg, Market Director of Revenue Management MP of Marriott. Garg, thank you very much to be here. It's an honor having you here. Please, you my guest. You have 3 minutes to talk about you and talk about Marriott. Go ahead, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vinny, for the invitation. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the viewers here in Travel Tech. As Vinny just mentioned, I work with Marriott Hotels, Revenue Management Central India team out here. Prior to this, I have around 14 years of industry experience, starting from the room division, front office, and moved into revenue. I have done revenue management from a 40-room hotel to 400 keys hotel, from a non-automated manual-driven hotel of a new setup to the best revenue management, the best technology company in Marriott. Out here, the transition has been from manual hotel to the best tech hotels out here. Here with Marriott, I work with property stakeholders, general managers, sales leaders together to ensure we maximize revenue opportunities, especially in post-COVID time. It is extremely critical, the revenue management aspects at this point of time, to ensure we do not miss out, do not lose any opportunity and any source of business for our hotels. That's all about me. Thank you so much.
You're on mute.
We can't hear you, Vinny.
You're on mute.
That kind of thing's a live show. That kind of things can happen. So don't worry. Thank you very much. I wasn't speaking by myself, but it's okay. I was telling right now, I would like to introduce you Hugo, Esteves, Head of Strategy and Revenue Management at Revenue Hub based on Lisboa. It's 2 o'clock there. So thank you so much to be here, Hugo. Please go ahead and talk about you and Revenue Hub for everybody. Don't rush. We have time.
Hello, everyone. For me, it's good morning. Thanks, Vinicius, for the invitation. So I'm Hugo Esteves. I was previously a revenue manager acting as director of revenue management for EHG, Marriott, and Interstate Hotel and Resorts. Since 2019, we found RMUB with a combined of 3 sub-brands. So we have RM Academy, who do all the trainings for specifics hotels in revenue management. We have RMUB, where we do all kind of consultancy of revenue management. So we are the persons who looks to the RMS, basically, and all the revenue insight that we need for taking strategical decisions. And we have also RM Accelerate with a booster of sales. So normally, some kind of hotels need more than a revenue manager. So we also do specific sales actions for them. Combined, we have more than 300 rooms in our portfolio. That means that we have more than 30 hotels, mainly in Portugal and Spain, but also in the Nordic European countries, in Brazil, and also US. So yeah, basically, and in a short story, that's RMUB universe.
Thank you very much, Hugo. Thank you, everybody, to be here. I'm very happy. Second edition, we're just growing. Right now, Travel Tech is the biggest event for knowledge. I want to remind that everything that we do is recorded. So in your YouTube channel, everything will be there. After the Travel Tech APAC, we also will set all the videos on our LinkedIn and send to all entire database. For everybody that is listening to us at the moment, please do not forget, because we have, at the moment, we have 35 people on LinkedIn. We have 25 people on YouTube. We have 15 people on Facebook. All of you can write your questions down. I will receive here. Right now, I will start the first round of questions of all inviters here. We'll speak about them, about their questions. And if you have any questions concerning revenue management strategy, it doesn't matter first only, because normally we see revenue management. I will try to do some kind of introduction. I work on 17 years working in more than 37 different countries. I have the experience to work with more than 3,800 hotels in those 17 years. And what I saw concerning, it's my own opinion, revenue management, normally we seem to think that revenue is only applied for hotels. No, revenue management is applied on e-commerce. Revenue management is applied for hospitality. Revenue management is for airlines, for restaurants. And even if you don't think that is true, for parking. Parking. For cars right now, revenue management is started using for cars. So revenue management is a a big deal on our market. And normally we see a lot of people talking only about hotels. Everything, these professionals that is with us today, if they apply to hospitality, this will help you if you're a tour operator. This will help you if you're a travel agent. This will help you even if you have a boat, like a bark boat in some kind of Thailand, and you have people, and you have on your own e-commerce, and you know how do things based on demand. Revenue management has been created for that. And right now, on my single view, revenue management is greater than 15 years before. Right now, to be an excellent revenue management, you need to know about digital marketing. You need to understand how set your rates and segmentation through social media and a lot of stuff. But I will shut up and start with the questions for the guys that know more than myself. So welcome everybody again. If you have questions, please write down, send a message. I will receive on my board of administration. And the first question that we're going to have today is going to be to my personal friend, Mr. Siddharth Goenka, CEO and founder of Aiosell. Welcome again. So let's go to the first question. Siddharth, what are some of the technology changes that will shape the future of hotels, and how can hotels use technology to be profitable? I'm going to repeat the question to all the public. What are some of the technology changes that will shape the future of hotels, and how can hotels use technology to be profitable? Please, don't rush. You have 5 minutes to 6 minutes. Go slowly. Up to you, my friend. Thank you to be here.
Sure.
All yours.
So yeah, thank you for the question. So as we know, the COVID crisis is one of the worst things that could happen to the hotel industry, and everybody who's associated with this industry is figuring out how to move forward post this crisis, right? And one of the key tenets that come along in trying to figure this way out is technology, right? So as we look forward, technology can be a big differentiator in helping hotels get out of this crisis and move forward. Now, when we say technology, what does it actually mean? So most hotels in the past have kind of thought of us as large, sort of complicated systems with lots of stuff going on. So I always have this analogy of hotels being referred to as large factories, right? Where we have workers, we have capital goods, and we are trying to produce output. So just like maybe 30 years ago, or maybe 50 years ago, we had the Toyota moment of lean manufacturing, of just-in-time manufacturing. We're going to have a similar, eureka moment in the hotel industry, where we have to start to learn to do more with less, which means we have to use more technology, more automation, more efficiency, and have less inputs that eventually give more outputs. Now, this is obviously nice in theory, but it's hard in practice. So what does it really mean, right? So one of the things that we need to do is to convert as many of our fixed costs into variable costs, right? The more we can convert our fixed costs into variable costs using technology, efficiency, and automation, we will be able to get there. So my view is that all of technology in the hospitality industry can be simplified and segmented into two areas, right? And everything that we talk about is actually only segmented into two areas. One is marketing and selling a hotel, and the other is running and operating a hotel, right? And they both are simplified concepts, but they have lots of things going on inside each of these dimensions, right? Now, obviously, we are talking so much about revenue management, so that obviously falls under the marketing and selling of the hotel. So what I believe is that we're going to reach into a world where both these areas will be a lot more automated, a lot more integrated, a lot more simplified, a lot more cloud-based, and that is what's going to eventually define. And let me try and maybe get a little bit deeper into both of these areas to help understand what I'm talking about. So when we talk about marketing, what does marketing mean? We market our hotel using all kinds of channels, which are both OTAs, direct channels, our sales teams, corporates, all of that. All of that will now become more and more systemized, automated, and real time. So as we know, most revenue management concepts in the past were based on prior data. What we've seen in the last 2 years is that the prior data can go out of the window, right? There is no, like, we can't use that prior data for anything. So now a lot of the revenue management is going to pivot to real-time contextual dynamic factors that actually change with time. So what you saw 2 days ago would be very different from what it is today. What you saw 2 months ago would be very different from what it is today, and what we see today will be very different from what it is 2 months from now. So this provides a lot of real-time dynamism into the entire problem, and that's where you need concepts like dynamic pricing, which use a lot of contextual factors like demand, supply, time of the day, time of the week, competition, and it kind of takes all of that and makes real-time decisions. So another two very big changes that have happened in the industry in the last maybe 10 years. One is that a lot of bookings of hotels have started to move online, which means a lot of customers are booking to us through online, whether it's through OTAs, whether it's through our direct channels. But again, there's an online smartphone kind of experience. The other thing is that the customer buying behavior has become a lot more short. So the booking time, the lead, whatever you call it, booking window, lead time, has all crunched in the last, which means revenue management and pricing strategies have to keep up to times, which means that we have to make decisions not once and twice a day, but maybe 50 times a day. And for that, we need automation and AI. We can't make these optimum decisions without AI and automation. So this is around the pricing and revenue management. The other part is obviously distribution. So earlier we used to think of hotels as having 3-4 different systems. We used to have a property management system. We used to have a revenue management system. We used to have a distribution system. All of those eventually would work in silos, and many of them would not talk to each other. We are moving into this new world where everything has to talk to each other. It has to be one integrated system, whether provided by one product or multiple products that integrate and talk to each other seamlessly, right? So this is more on the marketing side. Now, coming back to the other part, what I was talking about, which is the operations and running a hotel. Now, since I also wear the hat of a hotel owner, I have a little bit of perspective in this. I feel that we have also gone and complicated this whole world of running a hotel by having these very large, clunky systems that are probably, have legacy architecture. They have a lot of stuff going on. They're not mobile friendly. They are hard to use. They are typically, you need to be a specialist. You need to have done a master's degree to be able to operate those systems. But that's not the case going forward. Going forward, we will have simple systems that do the job as well as those complicated, large, clunky systems. And what that means is that it's easy to use, it's fully integrated with the whole marketing and distribution and revenue management. It is maybe cloud friendly, it is mobile friendly. So I always believe we are designing a system where we are able to run our entire hotel using a simple mobile app. Like, why should one even need to have a front office, for example? Why can't people just be moving around? We have moved in this world of automation where a lot of things can happen as we go, right? So similarly, it's just the entire, tasks like night audit, tasks like marking no-shows, all of those can happen in a more automated, simplified manner. And that's really where, right from guest experience to staff management to our maintenance management, all should happen in a much more simple manner. So my idea, and I would like to sum it up, is around simplicity, efficiency, automation, which is all powered by technology, which is both on the marketing and revenue management and distribution side, as well as on the operations, front office, front desk, and housekeeping side of things. And when we combine them both together, what we can see is that we move into this new world where our input costs are a lot more streamlined and efficient. And hence we can possibly come out of a crisis as big as COVID, because then that means that we really need to rethink ourselves and we really need to re-innovate ourselves to be able to look at the future and how we get past it.
Thank you so much, Siddhartha. If somebody wants to have something to say or wants to add something before, I will do that. And normally I always do. The first thing that I note that is true, the two simple ways. But when we talk about marketing, for example, Siddhartha was very simple. But remember, when we talk about marketing, revenue management, one thing that I recommend in all the events that we have from the last year till today, this is the second edition, is when we talk about marketing, you need to understand who is your public. If you are a hotelier or a travel and you don't know that, you will lose. You always will lose because you only will check on rates. The first things, check your PMS. If you don't have an automation, do it. At Siddhartha recommended. Like this, we don't have the bad thing as the evil Afghanistan. It's not that Afghanistan is evil. I'm so sorry. Don't take me wrong. But on all PMSs, the first country that appear is Afghanistan. And when you go to any PMS, normally what receptionists do, okay, this guy, where they come from? Afghanistan. However, but when you check your list, I said, whoa, I got like 200 people for Afghanistan. But the passport is for outside. It's not Afghanistan. So have that automation. It's very important. But also take a look. Take a look for. Of course, don't take a look at 2012. Take a look at 2018. 2018. Take a 1 year and a year, and then each quarter of the year, and understand where they come from. Based on that, you will be able to apply strategies on when you put money in your marketing. Not only that, you can do more than that if you want. Use your Google, your tag manager. Use Google Analyticals. If you don't have any script in your website, do it. But Siddhartha, thank you very much, man. Very helpful as always. Somebody wants to say something here, please go ahead. As a discussion time that we have. Hugo.
I just would like to add something that is, you said and you are right, that we need to segment our client to know better my client. But now I would like to challenge our revenue managers to try to segment and to try to find your guests per rate that they are able to spend or are able to buy. So normally people segment by nationality, by market, if it's corporate, if it's a group. Something that I would like to challenge all the revenue managers is to try to segment by rate. Which kind of share of my guests are able to buy a package, to buy a non-refundable, because you know at the moment in the check-in that if it's a non-refundable rate, there is a people that prefer to have a discount instead of paying later and have the possibility of cancellation. So another way to know better your client is by the way that he is trying to buy or to change. If he's able, for example, if he's able to buy a package, is a client that you should be able to do upselling in the reception.
Maybe not only in the reception, Hugo. Maybe you need to have an automation upselling tool that before, if he books on Booking or if he books on your website, when they get the reservation, they need to have already an upselling project there. And if they didn't saw the voucher, but when they access the hotel, they can read a QR code and have thousands of tools like this.
Yeah, sure. When I say reception, is because I think personally, it's a personal opinion, that the reception should be the user management of the guest period. That's meant from the day that he book the stay until the checkout email that we say that I hope that everything is going well and come back again, for example. Because at the end, if the reception who is talking to the client, is selling our product, and is going face to face with the client.
Sure.
So it's just a challenge that I would like to add to what you said, Vinicius.
Totally agree, Hugo. Greg, you want to say something, and then you have Prakhar. Greg, go ahead.
Sure. Like I was going to.
Yes. Before I start, just to add on Siddhartha's point. I've been using hotel software like more than a decade now, and one of the best softwares I have been managed till now to deal with, including the distribution software, including the PMS, some finance systems, distributions, and marketing as well. But somehow I still feel, working with one of the best brand today, but still feel there is a hollow. There is a space where the property management systems the revenue management systems, the distribution system, and the finance systems. Today, revenue and finance are synced. So we do forecast, the revenue forecasting, and the finance does the GOP forecasting. Similar ways. So we see this the weekly forecast, which is happening, monthly forecast again, but somehow we end up going into a manual pivot on an Excel to do these things together. I do work with one of the best systems of RMS, and the gentleman sitting on the other table in finance does the best systems on the system. But still, somehow there is a gap, there is a sink, which we really tomorrow need to address with this technology driven market and technology. As Siddharth has just mentioned, technology is evolving every day. So I'm sure we will find a space solutions out there, and rather you own hotels, so I'm sure you know this better system, and we have a lot of work to do together. Thank you.
Before I let Greg speak, I will remind to everything that's listened to us, if you go to our website, if you go to the www.traveltech.space, you're going to see virtual stand. If you access there, you're going to see Infor, Aiosell, RM Hub, and all the sponsors that we have. We have full of technology that you can choose, and you can have a one-to-one meeting. You just need to go to our website, traveltech.space, virtual stand, and then you can have a one-to-one meeting with these guys. So profit it. Greg, please. Sorry, man.
Look, I was going to agree with Siddharth. It's the technology at hotels today. We're still seeing a lot of hotels that don't have the channel manager, the CRS, connected to the hotel PMS. The emails are coming. The emails are coming in, and yeah, you're still talking to the hoteliers and saying, oh, "I've got a team. I have a." The problem is they have the team. I get it. They don't want to let their staff go, and that's a real challenge for hotels. But in the end, they'll lose competitive advantage over the hotel down the road who's doing that with a leaner operation, making more profit, and that profit ends up getting reinvested back into that hotel. So it's really all about the profitability of the hotel, using technology to make that happen.
Awesome. Thank you, Greg. Let's go to the second question right now. The second question is for Greg. Greg Dennington, Account Director for New Zealand, Australia, and Pacific for Infor. Greg, your question. How can technology assist hoteliers in the recovery and shaping future revenue management strategy in post-COVID world? I'm going to repeat the question. How can technology assist hoteliers in the recovery and shaping future revenue management strategies in a post-COVID world? It's all yours, my friend. Please go ahead.
Thank you. This is a complex one, so I'll try and make it fairly simple.
Yeah, it is.
I found the most complex question there is. Look, we know that revenue management has changed from March 2020 going forwards. Before March 2020, revenue managers were looking at all their past data for the last 10 years. They were looking at local events coming up in their cities and towns. They were looking at the seasons coming up. You know, some hotels are busy at Easter and Christmas. Other hotels are busy at end of financial year. The market has changed so dramatically. Corporate business has dropped off in some ways 99%, and hotels are now relying on a lot of leisure business coming through to their hotels to try and make ends meet. And from a technology perspective, I mean, Siddharth hit it a lot of some of his points that he made there. It has to be real time. Prior data is kind of irrelevant now. That dynamic pricing, it really is how hotels are going to move themselves forward to really analyze their business. And it's technology that's going to allow them to analyze the business. Again, we mentioned very briefly AI. It's even beyond AI now. AI is great. AI is you asking Google, hey Google, play my favorite track on Spotify, and it plays my favorite track. That's AI. What we're talking about now is systems that are starting to learn what's going on in your business from today moving forward. There's a lot of industry terminology in technology. We've heard of machine learning, you know, how pieces are thinking without human interaction. But what we're talking about now is what we call deep learning. It's taken that technology one step further. And again, without trying to make this real super complex, deep learning is trying to make a PC think like a human, but really quickly. We're seeing hotels in this region, and I can give you some examples of what we've seen: Australia, New Zealand, South Pacific. we've got hotels that are closed in places like Malaysia. Revenue management isn't going to help them right now, but the minute that recovery starts, the minute that they get travelers in, they're going to have to start analyzing where that business is coming from, how can we make the most out of that business, and really how can we generate the most amount of profits from there. Then we've got markets like New Zealand, where internally they're open. So the technology is driving. You need technology there to drive the rate and the revenue to your hotel based on the available market. New Zealand's quite a closed market. It's a very, very small market. Australia is very, very similar, except we've got states, and the states keep closing the borders. We had hotels in December last year who were forecasting their business for the Christmas week, December 24th onwards, to being 99%. A week before Christmas, the state borders closed between New South Wales and Queensland, two of our biggest states in Australia. And suddenly, all of the business that was going to that hotel was coming from another state. The state borders closed. The revenue just literally dropped from 99% down to 2 to 3%. And it took the technology, the revenue management team could see that in a real-time advantage, real-time persona of seeing all of that information coming through and seeing that negative drop-off of pickup. The converse of that was, because all of those people in the state whose border had closed and were traveling north, they suddenly started to book locally. So the bookings dropped from one perspective and then picked up in another. Again, interfacing between systems. It's making sure that the CRS is really in tune to the PMS, and the PMS is really in tune to the revenue management platform. The revenue management platform could see that drop off. And if it was a trigger point revenue management platform, if it was relying on rules in the revenue management platform, it would have suddenly given really, really low rates for that hotel to suddenly start picking back up again. With clever AI, clever machine learning and deep learning, you can see those sort of hotels looking at that revenue and thinking, hang on a minute, it's dropped off from this one source, but it's picked up again from another. Luckily, that hotel ended up being full in that Christmas period, but its market changed in a 24-hour window. And that's really what we're seeing. And technology, without technology, the hotel staff wouldn't have been able to see that and react to it quick enough. And Siddharth mentioned that algorithms need to learn faster and adapt much, much quicker. And that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing the algorithm change from, in a revenue management platform, we were looking at seasons. We were looking at, there's a rock concert on. We're not getting rock concerts on in our towns and cities at the moment. It's not happening. So those rules and trigger point based systems really aren't working anymore. They really weren't working then. It was a sort of a tiered solution to a revenue management problem. When I was doing revenue management in hotels, we had a great big Excel spreadsheet, and I remember writing one. I worked for IHG a long time ago, and we had a regional spreadsheet, and every single day we were putting all the numbers in. We're looking at our pickup. We were trying to guess then what the room rates were. We weren't using revenue management platform. We weren't seeing what the forecast was. We weren't seeing the market mix. And so we weren't really able to price the rooms the way that the rooms should be priced, or even on revenue strategies of, should I have a minimum stay? Should I have a maximum stay? Should it be, all of those sort of things. As a human being, our mind is focused on the operations in front of us. Using technology behind it, the technology can think way, way quicker than we can. It can make multiple decisions on multiple days. It sees things that we focus on on tomorrow. We're focused on Tuesday the 31st. The computer system is looking at everything that's in your system every single minute of the day. And that's really where the technology comes in. And the upsell feature as well, absolutely. Hotels are so leisure focused at the moment. Most hotels don't have that corporate business. And we know I'm the corporate traveler. When I check into my hotel, I don't sort of go, oh, I'll have the bigger room, because my company aren't going to pay for it. And I'm not going to pay for it because that hotel room is a tool of my business. Leisure guests look at things differently. They're looking for an experience. So offer them that upgrade. Have the technology at the point of check-in, absolutely. On the point of reservation, it's the whole guest journey. Point of reservation, guest looks at the standard room, but make sure you've got the why you should buy the superior deluxe or the suite, those sort of things. It's making sure when the guest is due to check in, the pre-check-in, the online check-in, the emails that the guest comes through. Here you are, Mr. Smith, you're coming to check into room 501 for the next 3 nights. How about you enhance your stay with an upgrade to a superior room? Or even as simple as, why don't you have a bottle of champagne? That's an extra bit of revenue for the hotel. Have that prompt in front of you. And the last gasp is, most hotels still have a traditional check-in desk. And again, that's another technology thing that maybe might change in the future. But that technology, make sure that that person on the front desk has a prompt. They can see that distressed inventory. They know exactly where the room is. It's empty for the next 3 nights. Let's see if we can get that next extra $50. Even if you have a system in place where your staff get rewarded for upselling those rooms. You know, you might pay your staff 10%, or that you have an upsell champion of the month or the week award, and that staff member gets something. Every person and everybody is involved in that sales process, but the technology is what's driving that behind it. It's prompting the front desk person to say, hey, we've got a suite available this week. Would you like it? But make it relevant. And I had an email the other day from a hotel. I was staying for 2 nights in a studio room, and it said, why don't you upgrade to a 3-bedroom apartment? The technology didn't read me and my wife and nobody else traveling. Why would I really need a 3-bedroom apartment? Make sure it's tailored to that person. Make sure, and this is where technology, again, is going to change in that revenue management world. It is going to change. It is going to make your staff think better, and it is going to make your hotels operate better, to really start adding that extra few dollars to the revenue. And the extra few dollars to the revenue, and again, we're all coming down to the RevPAR. The RevPAR thing is at the moment kind of not the most focused point of a hotel. We're looking at operating profit as a
that
real
point,
hard.
Sorry to interrupt you, but that point, for example, I always see hoteliers talking about RevPAR, but I never saw hoteliers requesting where I get my best profit.
Correct.
So even all the AI that we can have on the market, all the tools that we can have, I think that the human being running those hotels, you talk about experience, you talk about a lot of things, really important. But right now, at this moment, I think the most important thing is the strategy. Remembering that Booking.com just broke everybody with a rate parity. Okay, that's maybe with the discussion time we talk about this. But if we see this, the strategy right now needs to be based by channel and how you make your profit. If you have, for let's say your hotel has 75% online sales or 50% it's online sales. If these 50% it's online sales, and you got that 50%, 80% come from 25, 30%, your strategy, it's wrong. Doesn't matter if the IE tell you, turn down the price here. It doesn't matter at the end. What will matter, how you will manage to make those people that is buying here for a price that you paid a lot of money, how you make them change. Because you need to make them flow. The flow needs to be different. The flow will come from selling here from an OTA or an operator going directly. In the middle, you have a lot of OTAs that is cheap. How you make them? I know how to do that, for example. All of you maybe know how to do. We can have another masterclass and explain this. But at the end here, I think the most important right now is how they apply the strategy and look at the profit, as you say, not the RevPAR. I totally agree with you. Correct. Somebody else wants to say. So, Greg, go ahead.
I was going to finish one last thing. One last example. I have another client who, again, was a predominantly corporate hotel. What that particular hotel group did, first of all, they put a cloud-based software solution in that was modern. It wasn't legacy. They shared data amongst all their 3 hotels. They found out who their guests actually were. Connected that, the interface thing, as Siddharth said, is making sure that these systems talk to each other. They were sending that guest data to a marketing platform who was, again, analyzing the data of the guests. And then they were sending tailored emails to those guests. Say, look, you've stayed at one of our 3 hotels in the last 12 months, 2 years, 3 years as a corporate guest. Here's a special offer we've got just for you to get you a staycation, to get you into the hotel. And that was their revenue management strategy for several months, just to drive business. And again, it's that post-COVID non-reliance on the corporate guest. And the corporate business is going to be some time from really recovering to where it was, in February and January last year. So these guys really use the data in their PMS. They analyzed what rates they were going to charge through revenue management strategy, and then tailored a marketing campaign to individual guests. It wasn't one blanket campaign to everybody. They literally looked at their guests, they segmented their guests, and said, you can have this offer, you can have this offer. And again, that one of the hotels in December last year actually had a record, I believe, had a record revenue month, which is incredible given the times that we're playing in. So just another example of how technology, not just in the revenue management platform itself, but the actual data that's being held in the PMS, the tools that hotel adopted to drive revenue outside of the traditional revenue management platforms of here's the incremental rate.
Thank you very much, Greg. I will go to the next question just to try to keep on our schedule, because right now we're going to have Prakhar. And Prakhar have 4 questions in one. So I read all of them, and few of them, I just will request you to the UPS, you explain, because most of the public, normally they don't know what is an OPS. It's very important. And the third question, that explain that, Prakhar, if you don't mind, please. So let's go with my dear, thank you very much, Greg. Thank you, man. And sorry to interrupt you, was so exciting because at the end, because it's true, most of it, and maybe Prakhar will kill us because he managed to run Marriott on entire India, but normally they look for RevPAR. Let's see for profit. He's not looking to be very well. But Prakhar, I love you, man. Don't be angry with me, please. Let's go to your questions, man. Let's go there. Prakhar Garg, Market Director of Revenue Management, MP Marriott. So we have 4 questions here. First one, what is the role of revenue management post-COVID? How it's going to be different in new normal dynamics? A few things we already talked about this. The second question will be how we see business recovery for hotels moving forward. What are the key elements for hotels to ensure that maintain GOPS? Do we see a change in booking pattern or business travel with change in time? Just repeating, what is the role of revenue management post-COVID? How is it going to be different and new normal dynamics? How do we see business recovery for our hotels moving forward? What are the key elements for hotels to ensure they maintain GPOS? And this part, please explain what GOPS. Most of the persons maybe don't know. Do we see change in booking pattern of or business travel with change in time? So we have 6-7 minutes because we're taking more time than we have, but it's normal here. That happens. So go ahead. It's all yours, my friend. I shut out my mouth right now. Thank you. We are not listening to you. Your microphone is off. Don't rush.
Oh, sorry.
Don't rush.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Don't rush. Go straight, calm, and explain everything. All yours.
Yes. Thank you so much, Vinny, for your important questions on revenue management out here. Most of the things you already initially already briefed that revenue management is very important for not just hotels, airlines, railways, and other platform. I was smiling on the face that revenue management, fortunately, today involves in every day's like a banana seller does revenue management in the morning and the evening. It is again a perishable product like hotel room inventory out here. So I'll give you a little brief about how the revenue management, especially for hotels, how it functions. It is as simple as that. You are working with all the business channels and ensure your demand and supply meets the requirement at times out here. So that's a very simple process of basics of revenue management. But how it is changed, Vinicius, you asked, post-COVID, demands are very limited. Even Craig said 99% of the business are down. So we are working and surviving on the 1% of the share, which is currently happening. So how the revenue management change is the segmentation of your business. We have a very limited pie of businesses, and we have a competition hotels who are eating into a similar pie. How can your hotels reach to a level what kind of share you will be getting? At first, very simple point is the marketing of your hotel. you should be rightly marketing the new normal norms, what changes your product is offering post COVID scenarios to your customers is the very critical and important aspects of business what we see. Next is the buying pattern you need to see. As Siddharth has also mentioned, your booking windows are shrinked a lot. And we will have to see 10 times a day what's your pricing going to be, how's the business coming in. Weekends and weekdays are now become similar. You do not see weekdays, weekend patterns since we do not have corporates and leisure separately. So it's almost flat at this point of time. For my personal take to it, your rates is the key, which Hugo also mentioned. Do not discount your rate. If that data also says this very clearly. We do a lot of panic selling. Even sales teams and leaders have their own targets, and definitely there's a panic attached to it. But ensure the more we get panic, the more the competition will also get panic, and end of the day it is getting benefited to the end customers. There is whatever piece of business is there in the market, ensure the rate parity will be in key. First will be the ADR, the rate of what you are selling at, and second will be the parity. Do not ensure it's just a distribution parity on booking.com, on Expedia. It is across platforms, across segments you are selling in the hotel. It may be your group selling, it may be your socials, it may be your MICE, and to selling to a wholesaler. What I see some hotels does their online rates or direct channel rates at $200, and they sign up the contract at $50 from a wholesaler, thinking that it is a opaque rate. Nowadays, nothing is opaque altogether. I would feel everything is very open and becoming transparent, and it is getting into a reach of the customer out here. Everybody is approachable to anybody. People call the hotel to book a room, they check online, they go to wholesaler, they go to travel partners, they go to event planners to do their social events. So it is very important to ensure your rates are in parity out here. Give a proper margin to your business partners whom you work with, so that they also work happily, will be able to work with you. And to sum up this, marketing, 360 marketing is very critical for your product to display in a right sets of audience out here. Couple of other questions, Vinny, I would like to touch upon, where you had asked me how the GOP is critical and what is exactly GOP to the audience out here. So GOP is the gross operating profit. The end of the day, what is the owner's profit coming in, including the management fees and all other fixed expenses. And there is another term called NOP, which is the actual owner's profit going into the kitty. So imagine your hotel used to do pre-COVID norms 2 CR every month, and now your 2 CR top line has gone down to 50 lakhs or a 1 CR, which is half or a 25% of the business. Ensure your gross operating profits are still being able to maintain. And this will happen if you are very conscious on your cost, on your expenses, your fixed expenses, your variable expenses. All that has to be very in controlled manners to ensure when you do your right forecasting, where I was mentioning to Siddharth as well on one other point, then two systems, if they're syncing together, your top line and bottom line has to meet at some point, and what kind of percentage of that bottom line you will be looking at by end of the month. You should not be feeling, oh, I could not make that much of top line revenue. How will I pay my salaries in the end of the month? You cannot do that. You will have your fixed expenses. You will have to maintain together. So that where the technologies comes in play, and the right sets of top line forecasting comes in play. Forecasting is just not a month forecasting. It has to be at least next 365 days forecasting. And day of the week forecasting is very critical. as the dynamics are changing, the booking patterns are changing. So business is accordingly moving into a different time zones and directions. Borders are still freezed. So dependency on the local set of business, the within country or within states business are currently moving in. A lot of SMMEs and the small mid scale of companies are doing business apart from the leisure business coming into the city. This is what I think I have covered. Hope I have covered all your questions, Vinny, if anything.
Thank you, Prakhar. Thank you very much. Somebody else want to say something up to Prakhar? Siddhartha, do you want to add something? Don't sleep, man, please.
No, I was just going to ask Prakhar, since you mentioned about GOP and the fact that you're able to cut your revenues by half, yet manage to deliver the same GOP. Right now, this is obviously a dream, but very hard to execute. I'm sure listeners of the platform, as well as all of us, would love to hear from established brands like Marriott. What are some of the things that you may have done? Of course, you mentioned a little bit about costs and stuff like that, but maybe a little bit deep dive into that on how the GOP can be maintained in spite of revenues going up.
Absolutely, Siddharth. You are absolutely bang on to a right point out here. Obviously, in terms of absolute numbers, you might not able to reach to that level of the actual money coming in the pocket. But what I mean is the percentage of GOP what you were supposed to doing in the new normal in a pre-COVID norm, and now what is the percentage of gross operating profit you will be able to do that. The key elements, what we experience, it can vary to anybody to everybody out here is, for example, operating with only one of the outlet. You may have 6 outlets in your food and beverage, but depending if your customers are limited, dinings are limited, why don't you operate only one of the outlet or 2 specialty outlets out there? Your hotel is big. You have 2 buildings out here. Why don't you operate one of the towers only? If you have 10 floors, if your occupancy is less than 50%, why don't you operate with 3 floors or 5 floors out here? You will save your electricity. You will save your expenses out here. So a lot of touch upon points from the operational aspect which you will try and save out here. You may have a very limited requirements on certain fixed cost requirement. You have a lot of retainerships which you pay monthly fixed fees out there. You may try and see what is important for you and what is not important for you for a general manager of a hotel to ensure you reach to a level where you will not be into a loss making situation when you are operating a hotel and you are making losses out here. So this is what I mean, Siddharth.
Thank you very much. Hugo, Rohan,
Yeah, I'd like to add one point here. If
please
you have
go
seen
ahead,
a
my
movie
friend.
called Moneyball, they have a new way of putting into revenue management, and then they sack employees, they hire the new ones. So they do a calculation based on the performance of the employees, based on the performance of the team. So maybe we should also work in that aspect that we need now more all rounders who can work at multi level so that the cost is saved. Maybe we are busy at a restaurant, so maybe my front desk is empty. But they don't have much of the arrivals or departures. Maybe my bellboys or the concierge services are idle at that time because I don't have the arrivals. Maybe they can come and help or support the service team. Maybe the other way around, they go and help the housekeeping. The housekeeping team comes in and help everyone, because we are now looking to see a change which is happening everywhere. Pre-COVID, post-COVID, multitasking is something that is required. Even you take examples for sports, you need someone who can perform at multi-level, sports, so that the cost is saved. Having a team of volleyball players only playing volleyball, having someone from the volleyball team playing other sports or running into 100 meters, 200 meters will actually save a lot of cost. So such are the things we should take from movies, and I'm fond of that movie. That has helped me to change my perspective when I joined hotel management. During my initial time, I was more into revenue management. I was more into asking about GOPs and other stuff. So maybe we should also look in some certain manner. When I was in my last property at Kathmandu, I was helping them out in sales. I was helping them out front office. because we were having less of the work in revenue management because the hotel was a pre-opening team, and before COVID, they had a very low occupancy. That would be from my end. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I move forward to our next question. I remind our public we have only two questions more. The second is going to be for Rohan Jugran, and then we're going to finish the questions with Hugo Gil Esteves from RM Hub. So if you have questions, please write down on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook. I'm going to ask those questions. So you're going to have more 15 minutes maximum to write down. If I don't have questions, then I will move forward directly to the discussion side, and we're going to finish at 11:45 Hong Kong. So again, thank you. I love these discussions. I love this. This is perfect. It's clear education, and all the discussions that we get here in Travel Tech. Normally, you can have some other place, but not at this way, or maybe not at this level. I love you guys. Thank you very much to be here, really. So let's go to the question for Rohan Jugran, Professor Accommodation Operations, Manipal Academy of Higher Education. Rohan, let's go to your question. Are we ready to accept the change at all spheres? It's the honor of management ready to accept the new normal. Are my employees ready to accept it too? I'm going to repeat the question. Are we ready to accept the change at all spheres? Is the owners of or management ready to accept the new normal? Are my employees ready to accept it too? This is a great question. Very educational. Please go ahead. I just will turn my microphone mute. I want to listen. This is clear, Professor. Please teach us.
Okay. The point of getting this aspect and this discussion was very simple because I have also seen the change for last 2 years. Being a part of pre-opening teams, establishing revenue management at hotel hotels. I worked with IHG. I worked with ITC at corporate level for hotel division. So the knowledge and the kind of hotels that I've been to, they were not tech savvy. They were not really looking for change. When I went to a hotel, they were like, "Why our revenue manager is here? Why is he here to give us knowledge? Why is he here to give us guidance? We don't need it." They thought, what they've been doing, like the revenue management, something they thought that it's a child's play. They have been doing since the childhood because they are the son of the owner, and then thought, no, no, this is what we have been doing. I had one CR. I've been managing my one CR as pocket money. Now I have got 100 CR hotel. I'll run my business. Maybe the best way they thought of increasing GOP was to fire people, to hire people at a low price. So that's something that they got. So I had to make them understand that revenue management is not just managing employees. It's not also managing what is happening with the amenities. It's also about managing guest experiences. Maybe we should also start to compete with the businesses which are down the corner. Now during the COVID, the many of the hotels, they come up with offering food at a lower cost to the nearby areas. We can take an example for Marriott. They have a food a van which is very famous. I don't remember the correct name, but they have a van which serves food. It is a very nice concept. Maybe all the hotels should come up with such concept. They should offer yoga space. They should offer spaces for Zumba classes. They should have more into more rentals. They should more into providing a small chai point outside the hotel gate, served from the hotel. Maybe something special. Maybe they can offer, not going with a food truck. Maybe they can offer the laundry service because laundry is again a cost which is there. Maybe I can offer at a reduced price. Compete with the vendor who is serving or delivering the same item, same thing. Maybe a dry cleaning at 125 rupees. Maybe it will help me to overcome the cost. Maybe I'm looking at a huge volume because when we do things at huge volume, we have a lower cost, okay, on certain items. So maybe we can bifurcate, and we should. I tried to explain each and every department. I went to housekeeping. It's a revenue management. You don't place or do things differently. You just optimize on whatever you have. Maybe you are left with certain items. Maybe putting a shampoo dispenser in a room. Maybe a room conditioner dispenser in the room will help you save costs because small bottles are costing you more, but the bulk item will not cost you much. You can just place it in the room and you can just take it from there. And the second thing what we did, I've been very much close to the finance. I was very much in with them to ask and understand what is the PNS, how to manage it, and how we are going to be a part of finance. I used to go and meet the finance director, understand the cost perspective, how and from where they are procuring. Are they procuring the right item? Is it what we're going to give to the guest? And also, a guest experience something very important for me because uh, we have seen in hotels we have a lot of paperwork that has to be done. Why don't we remove the paperwork and give it to someone who can do it? Maybe we can hire specialists for guest experiences. uh, we have divided the front desk. You come, do check in, update the form. In the F&B service, you have to update who is coming in, who's not coming in. Maybe we can add technology. We already know who's coming. They have a chip, a room key, something given to them upon arrival. Okay, so please register yourself. This is a key that you will use, and there's a certain amount in that, like how we use in food courts. You get a card which has the money. We go to different places, buy it out, give it to them. Okay, yes, I want two burgers. Okay, I want a pizza. I pay for from the card. Maybe a membership which has a card, which is used as a payment. So there's something that is required as a change because we don't want them to have a human interaction. We don't want them to touch different consoles because it might spread virus. They might get virus. Just for the hygiene concern. Maybe we are looking for a change. A change that is acceptable. They should be acceptable from top to bottom. Maybe the owners should think differently. Maybe we can they can reduce the GOP for next 2-3 years. Maybe not a 50%, not a 60%, maybe 25-30%, because they're still in a win-win situation because they're trying to change, because they're trying to mold to new things. Maybe they will benefit in future time. Okay, in future. That's from my side, and I'll also like to add a quote from Professor Dave from Cornell University. He said the same thing in a similar opinion, and I have a similar opinion what he said. He said that the revenue manager should be think they should be taken as now the business managers, not as the RMs. We should change the term because we are now actually managing businesses. We should get targets, but my target should be the hotel's target. It should not just be my GM's KRA. It should be my. I should also be a part of my general manager's KRA, and I should also perform because I am first managing REPA. I was talking about occupancy. When the business is low, we follow offline off season and we reduce the prices. When the business is high, we optimize. Now the terms should also now change. We should not just focus on RGI. We should not just focus on GoPar. We should also revenue managers should from move from should they should from move room to now to FNB. They should also think about refresh. They should also think about traffic. They should also think about go back. So there are different aspects that I want the revenue managers to do, and we should reduce the tedious work. We should have some assistance or a bigger team and corporate for revenue management. That's how Marriott has evolved. They have teams in Bangalore, Madhya Pradesh. They have a team in Hyderabad. They have Gurgaon and Mumbai. If I'm not wrong, Ahmedabad is one of the teams. With IG, they have a team in with Gurgaon. So maybe they should have different teams managing revenue. Let's just talk about guest experience for next 2 years. We should not lower the prices. Keep us straight price so that we are not competing with other hotels. We are competing among us because we now have to compare us in 2021 from 19. We have to compare us from 21 to 18. Okay, what happened in 18? We have to replicate that. That's how I feel. We should be ready to change. That would be it, Mr. Geraldo. Thank you.
Awesome, Rohan. I will profit the hook here. Travel Tech is also launching traveltechacademy.com. We did a demo in Portuguese to learning. We create traveltechacademy.com. Traveltechacademy.com will be a place where we're going to have masterclass for giants of the market and people as you. So I would like also to invite Siddhartha. I already invite. I need to just speak with him. Siddhartha will provide a revenue management masterclass for 2 hours explaining revenue. I want to also invite you, Prakhar, invite you, Rohan, Hugo, and Greg, if you have time. We are leading the first free platform for the tech companies and people that have a lot of knowledge to provide free content live. So all the master classes that we are organizing, we're going to have a few in July. We're going to have another one guest experience by Review Pro. We're going to have another one on the digital marketing from the hotel networks. We're going to have another one for Goenka. So we're going to have a lot of them. So profit And for everybody that's attending us on our YouTube, if you want to learn about tools and if you want to learn about knowledge and how apply in marketing, distribution, destinations, and everything, don't stop to follow us. Keep follow us on LinkedIn. Keep follow us on our Instagram, that is traveltech.space, or directly on our website. So thank you very much, Rohan. Right now we go to the last question. Till the moment, the public didn't set any question. And the question that Hugo will answer now, I think is very important also. So let's go to that. Just give him 1 second. Right now, the question is Hugo Esteves, Head of Strategy at RM Hub. So, Hugo, we have here revenue management and profit management. Because it's not the two, it's colligated, but it's not the same. In 2021, how we focus on communication and integration of revenue management with marketing and sales. Focus on total spending per guest. This is an awesome question. I'm gonna repeat it. How we focus our communication and integration of revenue management with marketing sales. Focus on total spending per guest. Please go ahead. It's your turn, my friend.
Okay, just before starting answering the question, I just would like to colligate these questions with what my colleagues already said. That, for example, when you do a forecast, when you prepare a new strategy for a new business plan, a revenue manager needs to know all them costs, all their forecasting costs. It's really difficult to manage cost and then profitability when your strategy is already in place. You only can play with cost of sales. You can close some heavy fenced channels and no big changes. It's really important for a revenue manager that they know them costs. I don't know how it works exactly everywhere, but I know the big brands, and exactly you need to know your cost of opening room, your cost of capex, your cost of sales per channel, for example, and you need to work your strategy to increase your profitability. It's as simple as your occupancy go up, you close the defense channels. It's one of the most basic strategy, but it's based on that, on the cost of sales. And I first answer the last questions because it's related. The total spend per guest is a really is not a new dimension, but is a really dimension that gets a really importance with COVID. So basically what happened in the world is the COVID appears and then your demand goes really bad. You have really low occupancy. You can lower your rate as you want. Your demand is not increase. So the moment is to invest in your total spend per guest with service and in product. So to make it really simple to everyone to understand, if you have few customers in house, you need to make the possible to get them spend a lot. You need to create all environment, all products, all packages that you spend more time in your hotel and spend more money in this. That is the basics. Because then you'll be able to open more outlets to develop your brand and your product. That to make it simple. The other question is really analogical that what we talked here. So basically you already talk a lot with systems. So normally a PMS should be integrated with a CRM, with a channel manager, with a RMS, but for a revenue manager, we need to connect also the persons. So the marketeer and the sales managers, all these departments, because without them and without the commercial departments, because even the front office manager or the front office department in the reservation are commercial departments. Without them, my strategy never see the light. Let's say I can create the most profitable strategy without communication with them. I cannot go there. But now I really will focus on the sales and marketing department, and I can barely talk based on strategies. So, for example, for a strategy based on occupancy, we should, with marketing and sales, increasing the number of customers at the top of the funnel. An hotel can increase the occupancy percentage on property by increasing the number of customers at the top of the funnel. Feeding the funnel is the more important at this point. You need to work in your website experience, the speed, the score vitals, the mobile friendly, the local and experiential content, local areas, nearby attractions, virtual visits of your hotel, non-brand paid marketing. And also this means be visible to more customers with potential to purchase, which from an online perspective correlates to the top of funnel strategies. As occupancy driving campaigns are more about getting customers into your hotel, to get desired increase in your OPI, expect and plan a decrease in your ROI. That's normal. You need to invest in promotion, more promotion to get your occupancy. And then maybe work after the booking date on your ADR or your total spend per guest. But then when you move and strategy based on ADR, you need to focus more in perception and conversion and your value, in your market value and your strategic value. That means that you need to make a good impression and describing your value to your product at demand at higher rate. Is if, for example, I will give example that is common in Europe. If you have a 4-star deluxe or a 5-star hotel, you should not name your basic room type as a standard, because people, when you go to your market, you see standards at 3 stars hotels and 4 stars corporate, for example. Should name it at deluxe, for example, because I can give you for a lot of examples, but you also know it. 5-star hotel, a standard room in a 5-star hotel is even better than a standard room or a superior room in a 3-star hotel. So why call it standard? Standard in terms of marketing and communication have a negative value for customers high-end. So maybe you shouldn't rename it for deluxe room or premium room, whatever, that you can bring more value to your product and then you can sell it at higher rate. And just to finish, where is the happy ending, let's say, it's on the RGI, the RevPAR. It's where you meet your occupancy and your ADR to create your magic equilibrium, let's say. And here you can do it by different way. And most important is, on this point, you need to work with sales and marketing, because it's all about packages, included added values, including promotions, including upselling, not upgrades, but yes, upsellings and cross-sellings on this kind of strategies. Progressive web app with pushing notifications, with email marketing, with AI marketing and AI communication, as Craig said before. Ad copy, package, and length of stay campaigns. If you know your cost, you know that for 7 length of stay night, let's say, you can do a 15 to 20% discount, because you get it on cost, so your profitability will not be so damaged, let's say. So to capture more rates and more bookings, review your offers. If they are offering a unique experience that merits a premium or a comparable experience at a relevant price. Remember, for example, for a romantic package, is always the same in 80% of your hotels. Just be different. Because if you are different, people will be able to pay more $20, more $40. It's always a cava with rose and chocolates, with a nice rose or nice towels, but it's always the same. Just be creative. Just work with a local partner, with a local company, with a nice experience, maybe a local experience with a different dinner, and different room type or different decoration, for example. But there is a lot of examples, not only the romantic is the most cliche, let's say, but yeah, at the end, if you want to increase either your occupancy and your demand and either your ADR, you need to work on that. So rather than taking a premium onto a bed and a breakfast package or a room and parking package, let's say, pricing is so premium as is value. So make the booking be a sub-bar rated when converted, but still be higher than the customer you expected before. And with this, I will end, and feel free to ask any question about this.
Hugo, I just want to add something. I hope you can listen to me. I have an issue with my internet, just scoot off, and I'm coming back. That is why I leave. I'm coming back. Sorry, guys, but I was able to listen. Basically, what Hugo says. Okay, we have the cliche for romantical, but let's focus a little bit concerning leisure, because as you know, corporate, to be very transparent, and I think most of us has the same opinion. It's going to be take further to recovery, but leisure already recover for those countries that is open. So what you can do is an experience. I don't know. Let's say you are in Thailand and a nice, awesome beach there, and your hotel is a resort. Awesome. You can be here, it's spa, you can be romantical, but what else you can do? I don't know. Yes, I know, but I don't know. I don't know what it can offer in Thailand. It's just an example. Let's say that you have a boat that can take you to trip, to visit different islands. What you can do is, as a hotelier, try to work with your colleagues on your region and offer that as a total package included. And also as an upselling. If you have a tool for upselling in your hotel, providing for the customer when they be in your hotel, he's in the spa, he already go to the beach, he already do some surf, he takes too much margaritas or I don't know other drinks that can be taken in Thailand. But then I said, okay, I'm bored. I'm going to be here for 10 days. What I do? Normally they go to receptionist. What I can do? Why not offer a total integrated system just to sell for an iPhone? Just look in the QR code and see your logo, your hotel setting. Look, here you have the boat. Here you have, I don't know, the kayak experience. Here you have rafting. Here you have, I don't know, you want to go to the mountains. I don't know, you want to, I don't know, a lot of things that you can build just using your imagination and using your region. We have a question that I need to read because as my system needs to reset, we have a question from Ms. Radha Bishwas that to reduce the question, she requests us why we cannot turn down our prices at the moment. Why you recommend to not do that? Seems that normally travelers don't have the money or to spend money as before. I will let my colleagues answer, but I'm going to just give you a brief. First, you cannot turn down your price. Depends on the kind of hotel you are. If you're a 5-star hotel and you turn your price for a 2 stars hotel, you change your public. First, you're going to lose the regular public that you have. Third, people that's going to leisure, if you think they don't have money, they will get credits to expend money in leisure because people, it's closed as in prison for the last 2 years. Now I let Greg was the first one that said, I want to. Greg, all yours, man.
Look, I think the answer to that question is simple. People do have the money. Dropping the prices at the moment, I think Prakhar said early on in his, don't discount, don't drop your prices. It's a race to the bottom is easy. Anybody can do that and everybody loses. Maintain your rates, maintain that strategy. But people at the moment, and it's not just hospitality that this is happening. It's a few different industries. People are spending in high-end hotels at the moment in the regions, in certain countries. I'm not going to say it's across all of our countries, but we're looking at New Zealand, Australia, even now that there's a limited border open between, say, New Zealand and the Cook Islands. The Cook Islands is getting some good rates at the moment because they haven't gone down that cheap rate. You've got hotels who are making sure that they're providing a service. people aren't traveling. People aren't leaving Australia, New Zealand to fly to Europe. They're not flying to the States. They're not flying out of this region where they were spending money on business class tickets. So they're spending it locally, and the money's there. The hotels that are suffering are the city centre hotels. It's those CBD hotels that have been so heavy on airline, inbounds, inbounds from China, inbounds from the US, all of those international travelers, all those corporates. That's where we're losing. But the local people are traveling. We're seeing record numbers in some of those regions outside of the main city conurbations. Okay, we've still got Malaysia, Thailand, who is very, very much locked down and travel isn't there. But those countries that have internal travel, the hotels are still maintaining that rate, and they're still doing well, and they're still charging that premium.
I can also add few tips, let's say, because actually you can lower your rates. Imagine when the COVID starts, you can lower your rate, but at your minimum price point where your positioning are not affected. So, but for example, not that the price point minimum is $200, don't go under that for different reasons. First, you not increase your demand. You can put even at $50, people are not coming with this COVID. So the demand is so restrained that you should be able to keep your price. Second, if you lower your price, then the next year will be so much difficult to get at your normal prices, let's say. And third, if you are, because you are afraid, that's normal for hoteliers. If you are trying or attempted to lower your price, don't lower your price, give more added values and more service.
For
Offer
example,
the dinner,
I give a tip, very, very simple. Go up 25% your rates right now. Don't go up in 25% and do any strategy per channel and make money. Don't lose. Siddhartha, please.
I have a slightly different take on this, because I feel like where you stand on this depends on where you sit. Right? And maybe we come with very mid-segment low-end hotels. And I think a few factors determine what is the right strategy here. And the first is whether you are in a competitive market or a hyper-competitive market or in a slightly monopolistic market. Right. So a lot of markets, especially when I see them in Europe and when I see them maybe in Australia and New Zealand, I don't know much about that market, is that the supply is limited. Right. When the supply is limited, there is always demand coming into that supply, and hence you have the flexibility, or if I can say the luxury, to have this to take this strategy where you don't drop rates or you don't reduce your rates, because the customer has only limited options and he's going to pick one anyways. And if all in the business world, it's called cartelization, right? So a few hotels can decide that everyone keeps a minimum price, and then the customer has no other option to come to. The other way, the world that we kind of are part of, is a hyper competitive world. And sadly enough for us, I mean, we would love to be part of your world, but in our world, the price elasticity of demand is very high. And what that means is that, there is so much hyper competition and there's so much hyper supply that actually reduction of prices brings additional demand to whatever supply is doing that, because there is hyper competition there. And I would love to be in a world where that is not the case, but where we are, that is unfortunately the reality that we are dealing with. So my only point is, of course, as hoteliers, we all would love not to drop our prices. We would love to hold on to that strategy. But there is a bit of a cat and mouse game here, and there is a bit of a trick about doing the right thing in the right market. So it's a little bit of a nuance. That's my only point to add to this.
No, and I fully understand. Sorry, Prakhar, just 1 minute.
Yeah, please.
I fully understand, because we work with more than 30 hotels, so I have hyper competitive sets and not. But we need to define, let's say, the price points. And at the point I define, for example, that $50 is the minimum, I don't lower than that. Of course, with in 2020 or 2019, at the end, we lower our rates, but at your minimum price point. I think this question is lower than that. For example, 5 stars doing price of 4 stars and a 4 stars doing price of 3 stars. I think this is more the core of the question, but I understand your point of view. Of course, you need to lower rates because, for example, I give you an example. Lisbon have a demand before COVID of 90% in summer. So of course my prices are higher. My forecast was really high. At the moment the 1,000 euros of cancellations appears, I drop my rates, of course. But then I set up a minimum that I never go back or never go down. It's just like this, of course. And I also understand the owners and the directors. They are seeing like 18 months of crisis. They are attentive of this.
And they're too anxious. Sometimes they're too anxious, and they are really afraid to. They want to turn down their prices. But what we need to understand is quite simple. If we don't have demand, you need to get up your prices. You cannot get low your prices. If you don't have demand, you said this is not seasonal. We are passing for the biggest in the history, the biggest crisis for hospitalities and travel and airplanes all over the world. If you turn down your price, you don't will recovery because you're gonna get different kind of gas. And sometimes I don't want to be a lettuce, like an lettuce, like I don't know, like a playboy to say, but the people that go to five stars, 4 stars is not the same. The guy that go for a small hotel or a B&B, 2 and 3 stars. And if you start changing your public, after this coming up, will be because normally the people that regionally or geolocalization that is normally is 400, 450 kilometers that don't take airplanes to go to your place, is still your clients. That's why at the first beginning of the RM strategy panel that we have today, I told look to your PMS, because if you look to your PMS, you're gonna see each person's is near for those 500 kilometers, for example. Take those persons, they will come back and they will pay. However, if you do the contrary, you're gonna lose, and you're gonna lose a lot of money. And if you get, I don't know, 2 clients that regular goes, and then you got 5 different or 7 different clients that's not the same, and they can see that, or the behavior of people. Sometimes that happens. Things that can happen. It's hospitality. We need to be very transparent. This is business. We're not talking about people, or we're not talking about culture. We're talking about behavior. And normally, the behavior of people go to the 5 stars, not everyone, but it's different for the person that go for a 3-star hotel, and that makes change your brand. That can get. You're doing strategies against your own, and then to coming back on that, you lose, because if you lose those 7 clients, each client makes you lose 10 more. So multiply each client that's not happy and what you did for 10. So have that in mind. And for example, we have a few examples in São Paulo during the pandemic. We got a hotel, 4 stars, 130 rooms. And I told them, no, we go up in 40% the price. The guy told me, no, you're crazy. No. The administration is on my company. Okay, we do this. Let me do it. 15 days before, hey, man, I got to kill you. I don't have reservations. Did you check how much money you did compared for the last month? Because in COVID, it's one. Yeah, I did more than 35% more. Okay, so now I understand. I didn't spend on electricity. I didn't spend to cleaning beds. I have a small amount. I make more money, but I still maintain the behavior and the client that I want to have. That is the only thing I have to do. Tell it here. Hugo, go ahead, my friend.
No, not Hugo, because Hugo interrupts Prakhar. I know Prakhar.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Prakhar, you want to say something? I'm sorry, Prakhar, go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. All my fellow colleagues speak about why not to drop rates and why I need to maintain the rates. I would just like to touch upon what a hotel operator or hotel owner should do. Then not to just drop the rates and getting panicked. The business is very, very limited out there. The one will be we will have to work together on our product and the services what we offer related to safety, related to hygiene, the different offerings, all that we need to see. As Hugo also mentioned, a 2-star property can try to target them some 3 can target to 4. So level of standard needs to go up for sure to ensure that right sides of customers should reach to your property. Second, point number 2 will be your brand loyalty. Trust your brand loyalty, please. It is very, very important. Whatever brand, whatever segmentation you are in, maybe a star hotel to a 5-star hotel, ensure you trust your brand loyalty and give mileage to your customer, give additional bonus points to your customer, and they are booking at this point of time. By doing this, you are not diluting your rates. Simultaneously, you are adding value to your customers. Do a customized packages depending on the needs. As Vinny, you were just mentioned, 100-kilometer of radius targeted out. One of the strategy can be the driving down destination level of marketing. Yesterday, you were reaching around 100 clients to fill up your hotel. Tomorrow, you might have to try 1,000 clients to reach your reach to ensure you fill up to that level. So improve your marketing, spend on that, spend on your product to ensure you are reaching to a right level rather than just dropping the rate. So this is what few points I wanted to add on. Thank you.
Awesome. We have a question here from, I'm going to put it on the here for everything read it, from Vincent Shang. To continue, rather be wash questions. Since this is travel tech in Asia Pacific, why doesn't Japan or Taiwan raise their hotel prices, especially since the Olympics are being held in Japan? Vincent, before everybody can answer you, on Friday, 10 a.m. Hong Kong, 11 a.m. Japan, we're going to have the most important tour operator, the most important marketing company from Japan. So they will be able to answer this. However, my colleagues here for sure can have an opinion on this. And of course, I will let them give you the opinion. But listen, don't lose. On Friday, we have Destination Japan. And today, at 13 hours, we have Destination China. So for questions for Japan, on Friday, you can ask everything. And we're going to have the most important persons talking about travel, tourism, and hospitality there. However, my dear friends, here's the questions. Now it's for you. Who's going to answer? Oh, that is a big question.
Look, I think with Japan at the moment, there's still travel restrictions. So we've still got people not allowed to get in and out of Japan. You've still got countries that even if you go to Japan, getting back home is still restricted. There's inbound flight restrictions coming into Australia per day, for example. New Zealand has got a closed border. Singapore has got a closed border. The internal Japanese market, whilst I'm not the expert, is still a fairly closed market, even though they're going to have they're getting some nice domestic travel. I'm sure they've done their revenue management strategies to maximize their revenues, and why we're not seeing huge jumps in rates because of the Olympics. There's not a massive. A lot of the stadiums aren't taking visitors
People,
at all,
and most of them
and they're only taking a few limited locals.
And we need to have something in mind that 2 weeks ago, Japan only has 6.4% of the entire population of the vaccine 2 weeks ago. Right now, I don't know what is the percentage, but 2 weeks ago was 6%. So that's something that respond or answer Vincent Shan question. We have a last question from Ravi Sankar. I'm so sorry for the pronunciation. I try my best. Okay, so Ravi Sankar Vadlamani. Maybe rates can drop for loyalty customers. What do you think?
Are you just redirect for what my colleagues say?
Sure.
That is actually, why should you drop rates for loyalty customers if you can go and give them additional points or give you a free dinner or a free upgrade? Why lose a potential of revenue income when you can, if it's loyal already, if it's already part of your loyalty program, give them more points, more advantage, more products, or just more service. why losing this opportunity of revenue income?
Totally agree with you, man. I'm totally agree with you. If you have your loyalty, give the Siddhartha. Please go ahead, man.
No, I was just saying that another thing to add to loyalty customers. I agree with what Hugo said, and one of the things to add to that is because it's a loyalty guest, we can save on distribution costs, right? So we should try to push a lot of these loyalty customers to come to us directly, rather than through any OTA channels where we have any sales. So then, even if we, let's say, we have a bar rate of $200 and we give our loyalty customer, let's assume, more added benefits and maybe a little bit of discount, that is still more profitable to us because we have because they are loyalty guests, we should have a independent and personal relationship with them, as opposed to have that relationship through any third party like a distribution channel or an OTA. And with a mix of added more services, maybe a little bit of upgrades and things like that, we should be able to in fact upsell to them with the illusion of giving a discount.
Awesome. So, guys, we don't have the time for the discussion, but we have a lot of discussion here. Was amazing panel. I hope all of you love it. Just to let you know, to every people that is listening to us, we already got more than 170 people that passed through with an average of 27 minutes staying here. So it's a good amount of number. So it's not the regular that you have. That is the difference about travel tech. In Brazil, we got 5,000. US, we have 2,000. And we expect to have 2,000 to 3,000 in Asia. For us, that we do everything from Brazil, for example, travel tech, to let everybody knows we are a totally independent event. We don't have any kind of press support, only in Brazil. All the other countries we don't have. We have the support of the sponsors. We have the support of the companies that make this happen. And everything we do is to make the life of hoteliers and the travel industry easier. And that is why travel tech will keep on going and going. We do everything with our heart. And don't forget, traveltechacademy.com is still in Portuguese. To the end of July, we're going to have content in English and Portuguese and in Spanish. And I would like to invite everybody at 13 hours, Hong Kong. We're going to start with Destination Japan. We're going to have the president of HSY and the vice president of Maritime Hotels. We're going to have the VP of HSY also on that panel. We will have Jeff Mang, Business Development Director from, I hope my pronunciation is correct, Gridsum Holding. We're going to have Andrew Cohen, Managing Partner, Yankee Travel Ventures. So don't lose it. And 1 hour and 15 minutes. Thank you, all of you. I'm going to pass you 2 minutes or 1 minute to say goodbye. And I hope if any of you, with Siddhartha, I have direct line because I have his WhatsApp and I will bother him. I hope he don't mind. But he already told me that he wants to give a masterclass. So we want him and we want you guys to do the same. So if you want, you have my email, you have my contact, please. If you would like to provide a masterclass to Travel Tech Academy, that will be for free. And to knowledge, based on knowledge, be your guest. So Prakhar, Garg, Marriott Hotels, thank you very much to be here. You have 1 minute to say goodbye. Go ahead. Then it's all yours, my friend. You're mute. You're mute. You can. It's for you to say goodbye. Right now is the goodbye time. You don't.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Vinicius. Vinicius.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, we can listen to you pretty well. Yes.
It is a wonderful session and a great learning from our fellow colleagues who are out there. Thank you so much, Vinny, for the invitation, and looking forward for some more sessions of this. Thank you.
We're gonna have a Travel Tech APAC next year, and we're trying to organize one in Mandarin and another one in Japanese even this year. But don't count on me. I speak 6 languages, but not Mandarin and Japanese. But it's okay. Thank you, Prakhar, to be here. Thank you for all the knowledge.
Thank you.
You spread all over here. Hugo Gil Esteves, please, my friend, 1 minute to say goodbye. Your word.
First, I would like to thank you all for this amazing time. Thank you, Vinicius, for the invitation. In my own name, let's say, from RM Hub. Feel free to contact me for whatever you want to discuss, or if you need some help or some advice, or just to talk and ask how am I and how things going in Europe. And also sorry for anything that I said that may be confused, but here it's 5 a.m. and I'm still tired.
It's okay, man. I understand. You're based in Europe. And for me, it's 1 o'clock. It's 15 for 1 o'clock. I'll be here till 5 o'clock. And during the entire week, I'll work till 6 o'clock in the morning. So come on, let's go. It's part of life. Let's spread knowledge.
Thank you.
That's a good thing. Be welcome, man. Be always welcome. Greg Dennington, Infor, please, my friend.
Thank you very much for Travel Tech. Vinicius, thank you. This has been a great panel. Hugo, you can go and have a gin and tonic now.
No, we can, man. I can at all. I'm drinking juice. I'm drinking apple juice, and I have here another liter of orange juice through the entire night. If I drink a Blood Mary or something like this, I cannot be awake.
Look, it's been a great panel. I've loved listening to all the comments from all you, especially the operators. So Prakhar, Siddharth, really good to listen to that. If there's anybody out there needs to talk about revenue management strategies, platforms, technology solutions for hotels, give me a shout. My details are handy online on LinkedIn. Otherwise, thank you, and it's been great being part of this event.
Welcome, man. Always welcome. I hope that's not on the first one. And I hope you accept we can build some masterclass. I'm going to speak with Amanda. If you want to join, we can do one for APAC in English. It will be great to do that. Yeah. Rohan, Shukran, you are invited too for the masterclass on TravelTechAcademy.com. I hope you accept. You have 1 minute to say goodbye, man. Be welcome. And thank you so much to accept.
Thank you. Mr. Grandal, it's an honor to be here in the platform and share my screen with Mr. Garg, Mr. Goenka, Hugo, and Craig. I have personally sent a request to each and every one at the Dennington because I really like your point of view, the way you explain the topic, the way you shared your opinion about certain things. And it's always nice to hear what is happening, what should be happen in future, because we all want information from each and every one, because I think differently, you will think differently. That's how we make a picture together. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohan. It's the first of a lot of I want to be here the next year also. Siddharth, Goenka, what am I going to say? For me, you're a friend. So you have your minute and you will accept the masterclass. Already told me yes, huh? I'm going to chase you. I'm joking.
Thank you so much, Vinicius, for having me here. This is my second year in a row, and it's a pleasure to talk to you and to the distinguished panelists. It's been an enjoyable session. I would love to come back for the masterclass and for more. The only message I have for maybe the listeners and the hoteliers and people in the industry is that it's time for us to rewire our brains, and it's time for us to rethink, re-innovate, reset, because the world has changed, and we have changed, and we need to change. A lot of it is around technology and all the things that we spoke about. So that's my only message for everybody, to kind of be ready for this reset and change. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Siddhartha. And from my side, you're going to see me the entire week. So I don't say too much because they're going to listen me the entire week. Maybe then they're going to say, okay, come on. That German one, come on, stop. It's just a joke. Thank you very much for the attendance. Thank you. In 1 hour, 10 minutes, we start Destination China. New technologicals coming from China. Don't lose it. We're going to talk about something very important. Super apps. Super apps are in China, are growing in North America, Central America, South America. So don't lose it. Wait for you there in 1 hour, 10 minutes. Thank you, everybody. Be always welcome. Cheers. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.